Hi everyone, it's Kathy. Thank you so much for joining me. I have a very clean and simple quick Christmas card today. I'll be using the new Holly Jolly stencil, some paper from the new Tartan paper pack, which is loaded with yummy plaids, and the bookmark and tag die set. I'll be using the 3 small circles. And finally, I'll be using the Holiday Mini Sentiments stamp set. To get started, I had a piece of Neenah Desert Storm cardstock, and right now it's cut to 4¼ by 5½, but I do end up trimming it down quite a bit towards the end. I placed the stencil on top, and then I just used regular painter's tape to hold the stencil down, and then I used painter's tape to mask off some of the images that are around that pine branch that I want to use. I used an ink blending brush with some green ink to blend my little branch. And for the first branch that I stenciled, I did a really heavy hand because I did want it to be a pretty dark green. Then I just lifted the stencil up and shifted it just the tiniest little bit so that it would look like there was another branch coming off that first branch. And I just used the ink that was on the brush. I did dip it into my ink pad, but I blotted some of the excess ink off onto my silicone mat. And then I just repeated the process by shifting the stencil so that the branch would have more arms, I guess, coming off of it. I'll be sure to have everything that I used linked in the description box below for you. After I was done with the stenciling, I grabbed a piece of patterned paper and I trimmed it down just so that I could die cut my little ornaments. Now, I had mentioned in the reveal video for the bookmark and tag die set that it's an awesome set, and it really is, because these little circles, every time I looked at them, I didn't see them as tags, I saw them as ornaments. And then when I saw the Holly Jolly stencil, I thought that would be perfect to make a very clean and simple quick card. I know for myself, I tend to overthink things and try to make things very difficult, but sometimes just clean and simple is just the way to go. So I did run those through my Gemini Junior die cutting machine and then arranged them on my stenciled panel. I used a pencil just to make a mark of where the top of those little ornaments would be, and then with a T-square ruler and a fine tip black pen, I just drew the lines for the ornaments. I really would have preferred to use a gold pen, but it seems that my gold pen grew some legs and walked away. So I ended up using a black pen, but I'll be able to bring a little bit more black in and tie that in so it looks more cohesive. Then I decided that the background needed to have something, so I grabbed my 1.0 white gel pen and just started drawing little white dots all over that card panel. And I did add dots over the stenciled greenery as well, just to make it look like it was more like falling snow. And when I was using the white gel pen, I made sure to do different size dots. So some are bigger and some are smaller. Next, I wanted to stamp out the sentiment, and for the sentiment, I used VersaFine Onyx Black ink, and I have not yet adhered those ornaments down. I waited to adhere those with liquid glue until after I stamped the sentiment, just in case I got it crooked or pressed too hard. That way I could find a way to cover that up just in case I messed it up. But if my ornaments were glued down, then it wouldn't be as easy to fix. So to tie in the black strings that I did for the ornaments, I used the black and red plaid paper from the same Tartan paper pack, and I trimmed that down to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And I had trimmed that stenciled panel down to 3½ by 4 3/4. I used liquid glue to adhere that to the front of the plaid paper. Then I adhered that to a top folding A2 size note card that I created from Neenah Desert Storm cardstock. Off camera, I grabbed some black twine and tied those into tiny little bows, and then just used liquid glue to adhere those into place. And I thought that the black twine helped balance out the black strings and also bring more of the black out in the plaid paper. And that is it, a super quick and easy Christmas card. Thank you so much for joining me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you've not yet subscribed, we'd love it if you would. And don't forget to ring the bell so you're notified every time a new video is posted. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.